Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Garbage Time with Boda. Thank you so much for being here today. Today with me, I got Drew Chains. What's happening?
I'm here, baby. What's up?
Yeah, what's going on? We have a special guest for our episode today. We are going to be doing a Browns exit interview with fellow Boda member and Browns enthusiast, James Popolo, a.k.a. Jimmy Pibbles, a.k.a. Mac Daddy.
Who else
so
but James?
He will be on in just a few minutes. But first, let me tell you what we got for you today. We are looking at AFC NFC playoff picture for you guys today. It is Week 18, first time ever. We have a Week 18, so an entire week of football that you got going on for the league this year. Oh, hold on, I got comments already. What's going on? Let's see what we got. Oh, Boda, what's happening? So, yes, we're going to look at AFC, NFC playoff picture, possible potential matchups between teams, AFC and NFC.
There's a lot of different potential matchups.
I know. I'm already repeating myself because I'm like trying to think about all the matchups that are going to happen, that could happen potentially.
Really
but
wild.
just to give you a little exciting tidbit, a little flash forward here. The Patriots can finish in any playoff position except for number 4.
Nope, they can finish in 4th.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
It is impossible.
4th seed is still available for the Patriots according to this list here.
That's not possible. I literally looked it up today. We'll get into this. We'll fight about this later. Obviously, we're gonna have a great show for you guys. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. Let us go. Shut up, James. Let us go to the man with a plan. He needs no introduction, but I will give him one. Fuckwad. We have James motherfucking Popolo, a.k.a. COVID squared James. Poor boy's got COVID again. Welcome back, James. How it do, James?
2-time COVID defeating champion James Popolo.
Yes, he is.
Yes, sir.
What's up, boys?
How's it going,
What's
buddy?
going on?
Oh, just chilling. COVID.
Yeah, vaping. Hopefully
No,
not.
bro.
It's not good.
Right, just, generally weak. Generally old man-esque from COVID. It's great. Good fucking stuff.
So sad. Well, James, you know why we brought you in here. We are unfortunately here to tell you that the Browns have been eliminated from the playoffs. Well, the Ravens and the Steelers. The Ravens and the Steelers still have a chance.
I'm glad I needed a reminder for that. Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. Well, hey, you know what? That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
We were under the impression that you didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought this was news. Great.
But so like I said, we have 10 questions for you, James. 10 questions about the Browns, present and or future, about the team, about the season, that we're gonna ask you for your exit interview, and then we're gonna kick you off our show and get the fucking wheels rolling.
Oh,
So-
shit, all right. Hey, you want to stay on? Sure. All right.
I don't know. It depends on how this interview goes. I'll let you know.
Sounds great, Zach.
All right. Love you too. All right. Drew, you want to alternate, or what do you want to do here?
Yeah, that's fine.
You want to alternate? All right, James. I am going to ask you the question that has been asked of every Browns fan, every pulpit, everywhere. Is Baker the future? I'm going to hit you hard first.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. It's the question of the season. It was a question before we even started this year. And through the first 2 to 3 games, he looked like he was. Then obviously the injury comes along. But, as much as that can affect his game, that injury doesn't affect his decision-making, which has been his most atrocious part of his game this year. Most notably, most recent would be him not passing short to David Njoku and instead trying to go a little bit longer to Donovan Peoples-Jones and getting intercepted against Pittsburgh. So I mean, he either has to have a miraculous offseason, or we're gonna probably string him along like Kirk Cousins. I know he has one more year. We have his option for next year, so there's probably like an 85% chance we end up bringing him back. I'd be shocked if we end up going for like a big name trade. I'd be shocked if we end up going quarterback in the draft unless something fell in our laps. I think Baker's our quarterback next year, and then it could end up very Kirk-like, where Kirk and Washington, where we just keep stringing along, being like, oh, franchise tag, and then eventually I think you can't do it a third time or whatever. I don't think he's necessarily the guy to get us to a Super Bowl, though, at this point.
Do you think it's worth putting a franchise tag on him at any point?
I mean, I personally...
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and I personally don't. But I mean, if you have a year where next year where he shows a complete turnaround, a complete improvement, which I'm saying is a dramatic flip, you might as well give him one more year to see if it was a fluke or not, and get some insurance behind him.
Well, yeah, but then do you really know if he does improve next year? Because he had a good year last year.
He had a good rookie year too.
He had an okay rookie year. He was almost
rookie of the year.
He had a decent rookie year.
He was almost rookie of the year.
Just like Mac Jones is about to almost be rookie of the year this year. I know, James.
Anyways, that's still so inconsistent. I don't know that it's worth slapping the average quarterback salary on him.
Hey, I get it. I understand it. But like I'm saying, this miraculous turnaround would have to be, he has to reduce that interception number to a single digit and that touchdown number to, north of fucking whatever it is now, but has to be at least in the 20s plus for me to even consider throwing anything at him.
Yeah, agreed.
Shout out to Chris for not making it on the show, but showing up in the comments. Appreciate you showing up.
He's just throwing haymakers.
We're coming out swinging.
Shooting blanks. All right, Drew, did you ask, was your question piggybacking off of mine, or was that
that was just discussion. That wasn't my question. It can be one of my questions if you want. I don't care.
I don't care. I think it's your turn. I think it's your turn to poke the brain of James.
All right. So my question, James, and how different was this season and how the season ended for you this year, having expectations going into the year off of last year?
I mean, definitely devastating. You look at last year and you look at all the positives, making the playoffs for fucking who knows how long, winning our first playoff game and who knows how fucking long.
Right.
Obviously, the big shining asterisk to that is we were the first team to make the playoffs where we were outscored, which was very odd. But moving on beyond that, expectations were at an all-time high, and there were games looking at where I was like, I think we could beat the Chiefs. I think we could beat the Chargers. I thought we could beat all these teams. I thought we were going to sweep the Ravens, and just to get shattered by that each time, not great. And, as much as you want to put this down, and the outside fan will put it down to just straight up Baker Mayfield, which a lot of it can be. But there's so many other shining aspects of bullshit, like Kevin Stefanski forgetting that he has a top 5 running back in the league at random points and just saying I'm not going to run him. Against Pittsburgh, he's like, no.
But there was really no need against Pittsburgh. But then, I could understand not using him a whole bunch to save him for next year and just kind of limit the injury potential.
Cool.
But then to just all of a sudden start running him in the second half for no reason, that was weird. I
guess, but there's more moments of that I can't fully put together right now. There's just so much blurred bullshit. Injuries too. We turned into Eagles of 4 years ago where we just couldn't stay healthy, or the Chargers of 6,
or the Ravens of now. Yeah, I mean the Ravens are a little bit different because they had the big season ending injuries. We just had. You all have those little lingery, and you've had some COVID issues.
Just the annoying ones that are like, oh, cool, John Johnson, this guy we cashed out for. No, not gonna play. Awesome.
Kareem Hunt not being there messes up the tempo and the flow of the run game. And
yeah, I mean, which shout out Dearness Johnson for being everything he was, but I mean, he's basically just Nick Chubb light. So
yeah,
it doesn't really change anything up.
All right, Zach, your turn.
I'm just kind of taking in that answer. I think the main thing that I took from that is, or at least the main thing that I not drew from. What am I trying to think of here? Jesus Christ. I guess the most alarming thing for me was the fact that what you said, James, Kevin Stefanski just like forgot that he had a top 5 running back. And it's kind of true watching some of their games, especially against the Patriots. I mean, obviously that was a tough one for you to watch, but I mean,
we talk about that in. Sorry, Zach. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But if I'm going the same path you are, they had a phenomenal first drive. Once again, almost a mistake by Baker with that the throw in the end zone. But then he just decides to change up the play out of nowhere, or the game plan out of nowhere, and tries to outsmart Belichick when what he was doing was working.
Right.
And just shits the bed. Completely shits the bed.
It seems to me he's an overthinker.
Yeah, he tries to get too creative with it when in reality, like, just run the fucking ball. That's what works for us. That's the team we are.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Let me put that up real quick. The Browns exit interview with James.
Oh,
I made the banner. I didn't put it up, so that's my fault. All right. Question number 2 for you, James, from El Soggy Boy. Can you blame this season solely on the fact that OBJ ruined it for you?
No. Like I said with the OBJ thing, I get it from both sides where I've talked to the OBJ thing to death. Like, obviously at this point, you can look at this team and say it was not OBJ that was the issue, although OBJ had his own things he was doing. It was very much so like Baker and the play calling, which comes back down to Stefanski, but also the two-headed spear of that offense. I wouldn't necessarily put it down to him, though. I think it was just a lot of people trying to do a lot of things that just weren't working and weren't right.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I and the reason I asked that question is because now you have a full outlook of your season. At the time that the question was being asked, it was 1 or 2 weeks after. You know what team he's with. You know how he's doing on that team. So I kind of wanted to revisit that subject and see how fresh the wound was. Still, it's very fresh.
No,
all right.
Like I was saying before, Stefanski's system isn't built for an alpha wide receiver. Stephon Diggs' best years have been in Buffalo, where he gets to shine as the alpha, and he did have great years in Minnesota. But Stefanski's systems have always been built to just be running back heavy. There was no real room for him. He was doing kind of the same numbers that Stephon Diggs was doing when healthy.
That's fair. Fair enough. All right, cool. Drew, your turn.
All right. Pretty cut and dry. How do we feel about next year's chances for the Browns?
I mean, if we can get everything healthy and clicking again, great. If there's a lot of ifs, though, and that's what concerns me, is we're back to this point where, nothing is certain for this team. 0% of what we do is certain. The absolute, well, I'm not going to say 0%. The cornerstones of this team are Myles Garrett and Nick Chubb. Beyond that, or Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, and then we still have to re-sign Denzel Ward. But beyond that, everything else is a big fat fucking question mark.
Fair.
So nervous. I don't know when I'm going to be doing the prediction when the schedule comes out. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess it's a better spot to be in than bad. So
is it? It's mentally wearing.
I don't know. There's a chance, if things go right that, you have a good team on your hands. There's no doubt about that. You have a solid roster and a good coach most of the time. When he doesn't have COVID and is forgetting about his running back. But yeah, no, there is so much potential. So I think it's a better position to be in than just knowing there's no hope like some teams.
I mean, yeah, we're in better shape than like a Jacksonville or I don't know. But
yeah, Jacksonville's pretty rough.
Real rough.
Real rough out there.
Real rough.
In Duval County there. All right, James, let me ask you my final question of, I guess, for this season. Well, then again, technically my first question wasn't, but give me your 2 stars offensive and defensive for this season, and I'm pretty sure I know which one is going to be on the defense. But
Yeah, I mean, big
Whoa.
shock. Myles Garrett's a defensive star. If I had to give you more of a true option, I already kind of alluded to it. Denzel Ward has proven that when he's on the field, and that's the big other question mark, because Denzel Ward has his own, like, every year he has his lingering issues with injuries. When he's on the field, that kid's an elite cornerback. That's a fact. Beyond that, let's go offense. I mean, my 1A, 1B. I'm going to say the softball answer is Nick Chubb. Obviously, he's top 3 in rushing. You can't really deny that. Like, stats don't lie. Sneaky, though, David Njoku's had a really good year, which I thought he would end up being buried under Harrison Bryant and Austin Hooper. But Austin Hooper, as we saw last Monday, forgot how to catch the ball and has just been average at best throughout the rest of the year. David Njoku's actually done a really good job filling in and being what we drafted him as. So he'll be another interesting offseason story to see what we do with him. Both of them, honestly, Hooper and Njoku, respectively.
all right, cool. Nice answer. Wrong, but nice answer. Drew, your turn.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap these two questions into one because I feel like they both go pretty well off of Zach's question.
Very true.
But what are the biggest additions or changes you'd like to see to the offense and defense, respectively, over the offseason? What do you think needs to be added or changed about the units?
Yeah. Defensively, I would like to see, because I can't imagine we re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. I would like to see us get a strong edge rusher.
Okay.
I would like to see us get another safety that actually stays healthy, because Ronnie Harrison hasn't been able to stay healthy. John Johnson hasn't been able to stay healthy. Grant Del Pitt hasn't been able to stay healthy. Just someone reliable in our secondary would be amazing.
Yeah, no kidding.
A slot corner, although Troy Hill was awesome, and we have him for, I think, another 2 years after this. Troy Hill hasn't really worked out the right way I would hope. He did a great game against the Bengals, and that's really been it. Offensively, I would like to see us get an alpha wide receiver. If you're going to keep Baker and you're going to give him that shot, give him a receiver to at least test it out. Donovan Peoples-Jones has been great, but I think him is more of like a complimentary piece. I don't think he's quite ready to step into that number one role yet, although he has all the physical attributes and all that to be that.
Sure.
I would like to see them go after like maybe a George Pickens in the second round, get someone young. We'll see. I'm almost willing to bet that first round pick is either not going to be there and they end up using that as a trade piece, or it's going to be Chris Olave out of Ohio State, which would be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. Well, very nice, Zach.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I've been reading the Chris comments here. Here's one for you. I guess we'll take an intermittent question. I'll take a break from the other boys' question.
Clearly, they're stuck at being shit or barely making it. What barriers need to break by a team that's a threat for more than 3 games in the season? I mean, like I said, simple answer is Baker. More complex answer is fucking Kevin Stefanski remembering how to call an offense. More likely than not, we're losing our offensive coordinator too. So it's not like we're going to have that to lean back on. That was kind of the fans like, let Alex Van Pelt call the system. But a lot of it will come back down to health of the offense and defense. Getting Jack Conklin back will be a huge help next year. We'll see, though. Like I said, a lot of question marks.
Yeah, and it's tough for any team, especially coming off of what happened last season, to have this many question marks going into a brand new season.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my follow-up question for Chris, Chris's follow-up question to that is, if you're at question marks.
No, they don't. We're not going into total rebuild. The thing about going into total rebuild is you have to accept that you have enough pieces on your roster that need to be collapsed. Like, if I'm gonna put this in relatable terms, the best rebuild we've seen done recently were the Patriots from last year to this year. Without actually realizing it, disguised behind a Cam Newton, the Patriots were sitting back on realizing they had all this fucking capital for the free agency into this upcoming season, whatever was that season. Sorry, and they managed to do this one season flip and rebuild. And we talked about it where we thought at one point that they weren't capitalizing and that the fucking return on investment wasn't there. It now is fully there, I guess, for the most part. Jonnu Smith is still interesting, but
well, I could argue Jonnu Smith, they have been utilizing him far better than they have in the past, at least for the first 4 or 5 games.
Oh yeah, I mean,
people are expecting him this, and that. They've utilized him in the short game and the run game as well. So I mean,
all right. So there you go. So there's that, but
whatever. Bygone.
When you're sorry, I'm not trying to discredit it, but when you're looking at the Browns, really our only weakness is, I guess, some offensive line depth and a quarterback.
The only weakness is you suck.
Yeah. Well, it's just it would be wide priority list. If you're looking at the Madden trade block of priority needs, it's quarterback, then it's wide receiver, and then it's offensive line, I guess, linebacker.
Is that tough for you to say that?
It doesn't feel good, but it also, there was just a point in this year where there had to have fucking been a conversation between the two of them, Baker and Stefanski, where it's hey, you're not good right now. 40% of Baker Mayfield is not as good as 100% of Case Keenum. So you're costing this team. And they just never had that conversation. And it was either Baker being too proud and not sitting out, which also at that point, you have a young quarterback. If you're that coach, say, hey, no, we're shutting you down for the year. You're clearly going to hurt our chances. And we're going to reevaluate next year. No one ever had this fucking conversation. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? All right, back to my questions.
It hurts.
I know. I'm sorry, buddy. We feel for your pain. Listen, last year I was on the same boat. I thought Cam Newton was our future quarterback, and look what we have now. So
I won't be happy until we get past the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Well, I will ask you one final question, seeing as though Chris has taken kind of, I guess, not taken a question away from me, but can you give me a little Browns draft preview? I know you said Chris Olave out of Ohio State, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's definitely gonna be a target for the Patriots, looking for a true number 1 wide receiver. But any other prospects you've been looking at to fill needs for the Browns this offseason?
No, I mean I haven't really done a deep dive on looking top to bottom on what we need and comparing it to the list. I will say, if we're gonna go quarterback, and this sounds very weird because we just saw him collapse to Alabama, I think Desmond Ridder would fit very well with what we do, but we could probably get him at a 2nd round price tag. Maybe not. He might still stay in the 1st, but I think it's just going to be trying to stack the offense, because my idea with this draft is stack the offense. You have this one more year of Baker. If it works, great. If it doesn't, cool. You're set up for the next guy who's in line. Simple as that. And if you're going to do that, 1, the free agent market, who knows next year, but 2, the quarterback market's going to be a lot better next year. So, or for draft. So,
well, like you said earlier, there's not one guy that you hate in this draft, meaning they're all going to be dog shit.
I know, Drew. I was talking about this with Zack. I mean,
so funny.
in the chain, it was Justin Herbert, who I was I don't know, I think he's going to bust. And then it was Mac Jones. And this year, I don't have any quarterback I'm adamantly against. So they're all going to bust.
Yep. I mean, we knew it was going to be a weaker year for quarterbacks anyway. So.
Yeah.
Except for James, apparently.
Whatever. Why not? But all right. Well, that was my final question. Drew, you want to give him your final question, and then we can move forward with our
my
AFC.
final question kind of answered itself. I'll forfeit mine to Chris's question.
All right. Well, James, you have exactly 2 minutes. Anything Browns you want to talk about? Anything that's been bugging you all season? You want to get off your mind? We'll toss you in the rage cage if you'd like. If you're angry, if you're too sick to do that, that's fine. Just talk. We love you. We accept you for what you are, and that is a really, really shitty Browns fan.
As the timer started, I figured I was going to get like a notification.
Bing.
Dong.
Thank
Bing
you.
bong.
No, like I said, man, I've talked about it so much. We're just like Kevin Stefanski forgetting how to coach, and then the injuries everywhere. Just devastating every time we see this injury report. And you see like John Johnson, Jadeveon Clowney, Greg Newsome, this rookie we drafted so high, and like all this, every fucking injury in the world we could have had, and then in game, fucking who knows what. Also, this doesn't make a dick's worth of sense to me. Rated on combined like pass and rush defense, we have a top 5 defense in the league, which doesn't add up. And I think I was talking about this with Zach Murphy of Breaking Down the Tape, but I think it's just one of those things where stats lie. Because if you look at it, like, yeah, they're fine, but they're not. Like the score, the touchdowns they allow when you actually watch the film on them are so fucking atrocious that it just doesn't stand to reason that we're a top 5 defense. No fucking connection for that. Back to the offense, back to kind of what I was saying, though. Stefanski not shutting Baker down, Baker not shutting himself down, just ruined a lot of fans' vision of him. I think it would have just been the better idea to let fucking Case Keenum go and fucking Cook. I don't know. It was devastating. I hate that I came to the point of this year where I wanted Case Keenum to be a starting quarterback.
It's not a good thing. It's never a good thing.
No, that's the end of my rage cage. Depression session.
Well, all right. Well, James, thanks for coming on for your Browns exit interview. If you'd like to stay on and talk about the AFC.
Now I get to stay on. That's cool.
James, I was obviously going to ask you if you wanted to stay on.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it.
All right. Well, fuck off. See you later.
Right now, I want to stay, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go right into AFC playoff picture, guys. Obviously, the Browns are not there.
Are you sure you want to stay, James?
I don't fucking know.
Oh my God. Dear Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah. So AFC playoff picture. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 AFC teams that have clinched a playoff spot. There are, I think, 5 teams that can still make the playoffs based off of what happens this coming week. So let's talk about those playoff teams that have redundant. Let's talk about the teams that have already clinched a playoff spot. Those are the Titans, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, and the Patriots. So those 5 teams have clinched a spot in the AFC. Seems pretty forward.
I don't know what you wanted me to say there, Zach. I feel like,
and I was more. It was more or less addressed to Drew. To try
The
and
computer's freaking out. I'm very confused.
Yeah, I mean, any I guess any surprises out of the bunch so far?
I mean, you got to put the Bengals up there, right?
Yeah.
Bengals being that high of a seed.
At that, why do you think I asked the fucking question, James? Jesus.
Well, I don't know. I wanted Drew to have the chance.
Drew, answer the question, goddammit.
Bengals.
Yay!
I mean, yeah. No, I said at the beginning of this year, coming off of what Joe Burrow was able to do before he tore his ACL last year and how the offense looked. And the Jamar Chase pick was a little questionable, but I liked the chemistry. And I thought that they were going to take another couple years to get anywhere near division winning caliber. But good Lord, here we are, and beating the Chiefs to do it nonetheless. So good on the Bengals, man.
You got to be happy for them, dude. And I want to be happy for them as a, bottom feeding AFC North team. But it's so I don't know necessarily if I have full faith in Zach Taylor. I think he's kind of stumbled into this very luckily, getting like high draft picks. and I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain it as the coach. And I think we're going to see a little bit of that when it comes down to playoff time. But I mean, as of right now, fuck it. Just like Burrow said, F it. Jamar's down there somewhere. Keep whipping him.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, it's not a one-dimensional offense by any stretch of the imagination. They can hurt you in a lot of different ways, a lot of different receivers, and Joe Mixon coming out of the backfield is no joke either. So they're going to be a contender.
Who would have thought Tyler Boyd would have been the dud on this team this year? And even then, it's like fine.
Yeah,
I know.
He's been there when the other guys weren't able to pick up the slack. Tyler Boyd
That's true.
tried to pick it up. So
yeah, I mean, he deserves
wide receiver room, a very deep wide receiver room.
I mean, you look at this team; they don't have a lot of holes.
No, defensively, there's a couple spots in which
there are a couple spots,
but offensively, that is one solid fucking unit.
They have a solid unit. My only issue with them, obviously, is going to be that offensive line. If you go up against a team that has a really good pass rush, they're going to have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
They outgunned Kansas City. That's great. But if you go up against a team like, I don't know, say the Rams come Super Bowl time, I think they have a really hard time against a team like that. But
so I just said Tyler Boyd was the dud. Tyler Boyd still got 828 yards this year, and T. Higgins had 1,000.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's not counting Jamal.
They could have quite possibly had 3,000-yard receivers on their team this year.
They still can.
It's not. Tyler Boyd is 130-yard or 170-yard game, sure. But
okay, well, I mean that's obviously that's gonna be crazy. I mean, it's not saying that Jamar, didn't just have a 232-yard game or whatever, but
I wouldn't say Tyler Boyd is Jamar Chase.
No. I'm not saying he's Jamar Chase. I'm just saying that one of his teammates just basically had a day like that. So I mean, it's possible, but
anything's possible, man.
Anything's possible. But yeah, so I agree with you guys. I think the Bengals is obviously my choice for surprise team in the playoffs for the AFC right now, especially a division winner. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Out of all four of the teams in that division, I did not expect the Bengals to be what they are.
No, definitely didn't.
Sorry, that really wasn't a jab at you either. That was more or less just me saying I was surprised about the Bengals. But yeah, the Browns suck this year, James. I agree.
Kill me. Couldn't
listen. I didn't get that shit last year. You guys were too good. My team sucks. So now this is retribution. Yeah, I looking at those 5 teams, this season has been really strange. I don't see a clear-cut favorite out of the 5 of them. I definitely think that looking at a team like the Patriots and the Bengals, they're a younger, at least the offense for the Bengals younger. Mac Jones leading the helm, doesn't have that playoff experience. Obviously does in college, but in the NFL, first season rookie quarterback. So those 2 teams are kind of unknowns. The Bills and the Chiefs and the Titans are have been the class of the AFC for the last 3 years. The Chiefs are looking like a very different team from what we know them to be. Patrick Mahomes hasn't really been himself this year as far as, I guess, turnovers. I mean, he still has the yards. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a very, very tumultuous AFC playoffs this year. I think we're going to see some surprises. I don't think we're going to get a 1-1 this year. I don't think we're going to get a first seed Super Bowl.
Well, you've insulted me, and now you're insulting Drew. That's crazy.
Well, you didn't say that.
No, I'm saying we're not going to get a 1-1.
I know. It's just a half shot to make them in. Anyway.
Because when we get to the NFC, you're going to understand where I stand very, very clearly.
There's potential that the Bengals and Patriots could be playing first round.
Yes, so I was actually going to talk about some of those potential matchups. And
the Patriots can, in fact, be the 4 seed. Asshole.
They can't. There's no way. So explain. All right.
If the Patriots tie. And Buffalo loses, and Cincinnati wins, the Patriots are the 4 seed. bitch. Run it through the playoff machine. Do it. Do it. Do
Are
it.
you serious?
Yes.
Well, first of all, that's ass. If that happens, I hope the Patriots quit the playoffs.
I'm just saying, it's possible.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Anyways, that is the least likely scenario for the Patriots. So,
Sure.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not fucking likely.
Well, I mean, actually, the least likely scenario for the Patriots is getting the 1 seed because they can do that still.
They sure can. If they win and everybody else loses, Buffalo, Tennessee, and Kansas City.
Right, and they're playing what, like the Jets, Houston, and Jacksonville.
The Jets, Houston, and not Jacksonville.
Oh, sorry, no, the Colts are playing Jacksonville.
Jets, Houston, and who the fuck are the Chiefs playing? The Broncos. Yeah.
Oh.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. Obviously, the Bengals are kind of locked into their spot. They're resting players. It'll be really interesting to see.
Well, the Bengals could also be the 1 seed.
They could. That's true, but I think they've accepted the fact that they're most likely going to be either the 3rd or the 4th seed, and kind of have just, they're resting Joe Burrow, they're resting Jamar Chase. I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know. I think it's a good call for them. They're not a playoff tested team like the Bills or the Titans or the Chiefs. So, I mean, it's kind of smart for them to get some rest and really prepare for what is their first playoff game in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Especially with the new quarterback. I mean, he is only a sophomore, so.
And coming off a torn ACL, probably
exactly
have as much rest as possible.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's talk about the teams that still can make the playoffs, and then we can get into some, I guess, matchup predictions and maybe a Super Bowl prediction or an AFC Championship prediction and who wins that. So, we have 2 spots left in the AFC that can be clinched. Obviously, the AFC East is still up for grabs. The only way that changes is if the Bills lose and the Patriots win. The Patriots would win the AFC. And AFC East, excuse me. If the Bills win, they get the AFC East as they hold the tiebreaker over the Patriots. Let's go right here. Where are we? Right here. Okay. Wait, I'm confused. Drew, how can I'm so sorry. That's why. Okay, so there are 3 teams that are win or in. And I know that sounds really weird, but the Chargers and the Raiders play each other. That's where I got confused. I saw it on there. I'm like, how is that possible if all 3 of those teams win and they're in? That doesn't make any sense. The Chargers and the Raiders play each other for the final playoff spot. So,
unless Indy loses and they tie, and then they both get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So we'll talk about this for a second because someone brought this up. Indy plays the early game. The Chargers and the Raiders play the 425. If the Colts lose, both teams could just agree to tie and both make the playoffs.
Why would you do that though? Because if you win, you're in. Why would you just be like, yeah, let's just tie and both make the playoffs so we get to play? That's dumb. That's dumb.
It's dumb. But if you lose, then you're out. So again,
that's a pussy move.
Well, that's not true for the Chargers.
Right, that's
the
not
Chargers
true.
Can still get in if they lose.
That's not true for the Chargers, but that's true for the Raiders. So if Indy loses,
oh wait, no, the Chargers can't get in if they lose. Never mind.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
So I'm only saying this because we could get something like that.
No, don't.
I hate it too, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying. We've seen weird things.
If that game ties, dude, that's gonna be the most suspicious bullshit ever. That game cannot tie now.
Again, right? I understand that. I'm only stoking the fire because it has been
Collusion.
mentioned.
It's
Yeah, no, heavy collusion if that happens. But that is a possible scenario. If that game ties, they both make it if the Colts lose in Jacksonville, which could possibly happen because Jacksonville is 9-0 against the Colts.
They
Their
haven't
last
won
9
in
games.
Jacksonville since 2014.
Just saying.
And they play there every year.
Every year. Every year. Yep. So not great. Not a good scenario if you're a Colts fan. Again, obviously it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I don't know, it's kind of like a Patriots Miami thing. Every year they go to Miami, they usually lose, but yeah, that's those are your three teams that basically can make it. Obviously, the Ravens and the Steelers are long shots. However, Ravens and Steelers fans, Ravens, if your Baltimore Ravens win and the Chargers lose and the Colts lose and Miami loses, which I don't understand
why Miami has any fucking implication.
It must be strength. It must be strength of schedule or some shit like that. But if all three of those teams lose, you make the playoffs. Steelers fans,
good luck.
If your team wins and the Colts lose, and if the Colts lose, the Chargers and this is so stupid. If the Chargers and the Raiders do not tie,
imagine how angry Pittsburgh fans are gonna be if they're
my
in that
God,
level of collusion. Imagine the angry Yenzers, dude. Oh boy.
I'm gonna go on Twitter just for that, dude, just to see the fucking blow up at that game with all the black and yellow.
It would be legendary. Absolutely legendary.
Whew, I would love that. Finally give someone else fucking controversy. But
that would be wild.
Tennessee fans, lock up the number 1 seed. All you got to do is win. That's it. Game over. So yeah, basically, obviously divisions are locked down, but playoff seeding is still up for grabs. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting week. We obviously have that Chargers-Raiders game that I'm pinning down for my game of the week because it literally decides a playoff spot and potentially 2. Potentially. Be stick nasty. Can they forfeit a game? They both forfeit a game and call it a tie? Is that possible?
Neither team shows up.
They just get back on their flight. And you're like, yeah, we're good. We'll go to the playoffs. We're fine. We don't have to play this game. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I'm gonna look it up. I want to see if it is. But
just to wrap up the AFC, or the seeding talk, there are at least 4 possibilities for each seed of which team can be there.
Right. So, everything's going to come down. This 1:00 slate is going to lock things up nicely. Once we get to the afternoon games, we're going to basically know where everyone's going to be, or, they'll have 2 choices, I guess, specifically. But, all right, picks. Pick time. Okay. Who are your final 2 playoff teams, boys?
That's not an easy one.
It's not. This is why I'm asking the question.
I am going to go with Indy and LA.
Okay. All
I
right,
thought
James.
we were just doing the AFC side.
That is AFC.
That's
All right.
the AFC side.
I dead ass thought you were talking about the Rams. So I'm really glad you said Indy, Drew, because they have this like team of destiny feel to me right now, with like Darius Leonard playing out of his fucking mind and Jonathan Taylor playing out of his fucking mind. I don't know if I'm 100% sold that way though. I think I'm gonna go Titans in New England.
No. So actually, we're talking about
the last 2 teams to make
2
playoffs for the
spots.
Oh, all right, fuck it. I don't know.
And then we'll go AFC Championship.
All right, well, Indy, LA. I don't fucking care. That's fucked up.
You kept talking. We tried to stop you, but
no one said shit.
I didn't know that you were not talking about what we were
said
talking
something.
about.
It said final 2 teams.
final fucking
2 playoff teams.
I'm gonna go.
Technically, my fucking thought process was right. They're the final.
I'm gonna go
2
Indy
playoff
Raiders on this one because I think the
One-sided.
Chargers are gonna choke. I think the Chargers are gonna choke in a big pressure situation.
I just don't think that there's any way that Indy doesn't make it. I think that
Yeah,
Jacksonville's too bad this year, and Indy has too much to play for. and too good of players to go in there and lose. So I think Indy's more or less a lock. And then Chargers Raiders really could go either way.
I think it could go either way. I mean, obviously the Chargers have a potent offense. They should have a really good defense, but I really think they're going to choke under pressure. I do. I don't even think it's a Raiders thing. I just think that the Chargers are going to shit the bed.
Fair.
Have you ever seen a defensive split that the Chargers have had where their pass defense is like 5th overall and their rushing defense is like 32nd?
Yeah, see, I don't
Chargers
like that.
have had some just absolute anomalies over the years in team performance.
I'll be blown away though if the Raiders end up beating them because the Raiders are dismantled right now.
Yeah.
And Alex Leatherwood, their fucking pick, their high pick.
They won last week.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Stand by my guns.
All right, Drew, this time we are going AFC Championship. Give me your 2 teams.
I'm going Titans, getting Derrick Henry back.
Yeah, that's
That's scary.
Yeah.
And give me the Patriots. Give me the Pats.
Oh, good pick.
all right, James. Your 2 teams for the AFC Championship.
I don't want your bullshit.
Oh my god. All right. Well, before I give my picks, can I ask why?
For
I mean,
me,
Indy. I feel like Tennessee is pretty self-explanatory, but Patriots. Why? Why the Patriots?
Because Bill Belichick, because of the coaching, because of this, most of that defense is playoff conditioned, and Mac Jones is just special. It's something in between his ears is special, and he's a competitor. I think that he is going to step it up. He's going to do everything in his power to get this team as far into the playoffs as he possibly can. And just that combination is going to be really hard to beat in a shaky conference. If there was another standout team, I would give the Patriots a whole lot less of a chance. But no team in the AFC is really proven to be unstoppable. Tennessee with Derrick Henry is going to be as close as you're going to get, I think. And if the Chiefs can elevate with Mahomes for the playoffs to what we know them to be, then you're going to be having a whole different conversation. But that's not what we've seen so far this year, and that's why I think the Patriots have one of, if not the best chance to be that second team in the AFC Championship.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, Drew kind of alluded to it, but
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything before. I
cool.
picks, but...
Fucking dig. Bill Belichick's just inevitable in the playoffs. If you want to, you could, like Drew said, the defense is phenomenal. They're a veteran defense. They have the experience. Mac Jones has a fucking supercomputer between his ears. Great. But it comes down to Bill Belichick just being that good of a fucking coach all year round, but especially in the playoffs. He's that much of a difference maker for this team.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, obviously the last playoff experience that Belichick has gotten was 2019 against the Titans. Brady's last game as a Patriot left a lot of bad taste in the mouths of Patriots fans. But yeah, I agree. I get nervous with who they might match up with in the first round. Obviously they need to take care of business and they need to beat Miami, and they'll be pretty much locked into the 5th seed. I don't see the Bills losing to the Jets. I just don't see it. So, for all intents and purposes, it looks like we're gonna have a rematch against the Bills. I get nervous about that. I think that, obviously the Bills won the last matchup against the Patriots. Josh Allen looked a lot better. The running game looked a lot better. Isaiah McKenzie out of fucking nowhere. So it'll be really interesting. If the Patriots are healthy, I'll take the Patriots. But, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills, pulled it out on home field too. But as far as my AFC picks go, I'm going to go Chiefs Bengals.
Okay.
Really? You think a Titans team that's been able to hold their own without Derrick Henry getting him back isn't going to be able to make it to the AFC Championship? If proven
Let's
that they
think about
don't need to run their offense through him to be successful.
Well, actually, I don't know how that would work. Chiefs, Bengals? Wouldn't they play each other?
We don't know what the seeding is.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Well, I'm only
There's
thinking
definitely
about
a scenario where it can be Chiefs Bengals in the end.
Right. Well, so yeah, that's fair. Because I guess if the Bengals lose and the Bills win, then
Yeah, if the Bengals end up as the 3 seed and the Chiefs end up as the 1 seed. I don't know if that
I see it like this, right? If everything kind of stays the way it is, Titans are the 1 seed. You got the Chiefs playing the 7 seed. The Raiders or the Chargers. They'll take care of business. They'll be fine. The Colts are playing whoever the number 3 seed is. So if the Colts are playing the Bengals, I really think the Bengals can win that game. I really do think they can win that game. They'll beat the Colts. If
there aren't many games that the Bengals can't win. They
right,
beat the Chiefs.
Right, I understand that, but I'm just compartmentalizing it as, you know, I could see the Bengals, any first round matchup that they get, they're most likely going to win. You know, even with the Patriots, I don't give the Patriots much of a chance. I like the defense, obviously, but that passing attack is just way too potent for anyone to corral at this point. So I'll give that advantage to the Bengals, and then I don't know. I like the Bengals against the Titans. I just do. If that matchup comes to fruition, I like the Bengals against the Titans.
I think a lot of the Titans odds, although Drew, you said that, you know, they can live and die without Derrick Henry. I do think they need him for a deeper run.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it will rely on if he plays this week or not. I know there's rumors that he might play. I think shutting him down is the right option.
Oh, 100%.
Saving him for the playoffs. Because we don't know what he's going to look like. We don't know how his push-off is going to look. Was it a Jones fracture or whatever? Like, that's a weird surgery to come back from as a running back. So,
and in the position that you're in, you're looking at a very likely first-round bye. So that's 2 more weeks of rest to bring him back for the playoffs. He can't play this week. He can't.
No. But yeah, that's my prediction. I think Chiefs Bengals will get a rematch of last week.
Interesting.
But that's just my thoughts. All right, well, let's move over to the NFC.
Hold on, do you want a Zen Sophie break before we move to the NFC?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the banner up. Go for it.
All right. If you're on audio, fuck yourself. Here's Zen Sophie.
Oh,
Sophie. Oh my god, look at her teeth.
Good little G.
So cute. I love her.
Need Sophie.
Love that. Needed that.
Yeah, that was much needed. All right, NFC playoff picture. How many playoff spots we got left, Drew?
We got 1.
We got 1 playoff picture. One playoff picture. 1 playoff spot. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with me? Excuse me. All right. Packers. NFC North division title, number 1 seed. Dallas Cowboys, NFC East division title. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, NFC South division title. Then we got the Rams and the Cardinals and the Eagles, all with a playoff berth. However, their seeding is not set. And like we said, we got that 1 spot left. I believe 2 teams can make the playoffs. It's going to be the 49ers or the Saints.
Sure is. 49ers have an easier road, a couple more scenarios in which they make it. Saints need a lot to go right.
Well, they might get their wish. The 49ers play the Rams this week.
Yeah, so this is true.
The Saints play the Falcons this week as well. So, you know, obviously one team is playing spoiler, the other is playing for a division title. So the 49ers are going to have to do...
Yeah, you're right.
The 49ers are going to have to do everything right in order to win this game and to make the playoffs. And they're going to need help from the Falcons because, let's face it.
No, the 49ers don't need any help.
If the
49ers win, they're in.
I understand that, but their more likely scenario is for the Saints to lose rather than for them to win. At least that's what I'm counting on.
Well, you would say and they need help, not or.
I mean, they're going to need help. But no, they don't need help. If they win, they're in. But they're gonna need help. They're gonna need the Falcons to beat the Saints. So I this one's really a toss-up.
It could go either way.
It really could go either way. I mean, and not to slight the 49ers fans out there, but I mean, got a fucking tough matchup. You did beat them the first time. I'll give you that. You won the first time. But not great. Not great.
They are in LA as well, so
Yeah.
that
Right.
doesn't help.
Yeah. They're in Atlanta, like that really matters, but I don't know. What do you see? Do you see 49ers here or do you see Saints?
I got the 49ers. I do. Which
see
scares
them,
the fuck out of me. I wish that wasn't the case. Believe me.
Do you see them as a winner and moving in, or do
I
you
see them as a winning in.
Gotcha. Okay. James?
I'm going to go 49ers too. I just feel like it's very Falcons for them to just like shit on the Saints stream. It's like pull something nowhere, like one.
That is very historically Falcons.
Kyle Pitts goes for like 250 and 3 touchdowns.
Kyle Pitts goes for 258, AJ Terrell just fucking 30 interceptions.
4 picks.
Yeah. Every pass thrown, Terrell.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys, but I'm gonna go James's route. I think the Falcons end up beating the Saints for the 49ers to go and make it in the playoffs. So it'll be very interesting to watch. As far as playoff seeding goes, obviously the number 1 seed is locked up. The Packers have that. I don't quite. Let me take a look at this here.
Things
So
are definitely not as hectic as the AFC. So you got the 2 and 3 seeds, which are up for grabs for everyone that's not the Packers and whoever wins the NFC West. The Bucks are locked into either 2, 3, or 4. If the Cardinals do win the NFC West, they cannot be the 4 seed. And then the 5 and 6 seed thins out. Then you got either the Rams or the Cardinals at 5, and San Fran or Philly at 6. So less options.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm just looking at it right now, and obviously there's, the Rams and the Eagles are playing against each other. The Rams and the 49ers are playing against each other. The Eagles and the Cowboys are playing against each other. You look at that over there, and you have some decent games that can really decide some playoff seeding. Obviously, a playoff spot for the 49ers if they end up winning. Nothing too crazy on the AFC side except for the Chargers and Raiders locking up that last spot, but we'll see. Let me get predictions, boys. NFC Championship. Let me hear it.
True.
Packers, Bucks.
That's tough.
We all
That's
know
tough.
it's going right. Like we've been building for this rematch. We've been fighting.
I don't want it.
I know you don't want it, but it's a thing, Drew. It's what's gonna happen.
God damn it.
You know this is like the collision course we're on, is for the Bucks and the Packers to meet again at the final.
I know.
That's toughie. It's a toughie.
Yeah. Try to convince me that fucking Cliff Kingsbury is a good coach. Maybe we'll convince myself that the Cardinals are going in there. Not gonna happen, by the way. Cliff Kingsbury is a fucking sham. He shouldn't be that bad losing one, although major piece of your offense.
Yeah. All right. So you both have Packers Bucks?
100%.
I don't know, man. Looking at it right now, I'm gonna predict the Rams clinch the 2nd seed. Bucks remain 3rd seed. And the only thing that I could see happening is maybe the Cowboys and the Cardinals switching around there. But
well, no, because if the Rams are the 2nd seed, then the Cowboys have to be the 4th seed because the Cardinals would not be a division winner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Thank you. Forgot about that. Yeah. So if the Rams win, then everything else is basically set.
Zach says, "Fuck it, Philadelphia."
Yeah, give me the Falcons. They made the playoffs.
No, aren't the Eagles in?
What? It's a bird. Shut up.
Sports. It's a
looking at it, So, obviously you're going to have these low seeds playing each other. The Rams are going to play the Eagles most likely. So I think the Rams wipe the floor with that. The Bucks would play the Niners. I think the Bucks take care of business. Then we got Cowboys and Cardinals again. That's a tough matchup. I think the Cardinals take care of business there. Yeah, I mean, I know it's gonna be tough, but Packers Bucks again, most likely. I'm gonna go Packers Bucks. Sorry, I really wanted to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe the Rams beat the Bucks earlier this year. Same thing happened last year. No. If the Rams and Bucks play,
Hey, the 49ers could beat the Bucks.
They could, but no.
I wouldn't be thrilled to see San Fran either. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I mean...
Give me Philly! Give me Philly!
Yeah, all right.
That's not possible because we'd probably end up playing them in the second round.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? If you could get any one of the teams, you'd want Philly, obviously, understandable, but a reasonable team to get as your first round matchup.
I mean, the Rams again.
Well, you can't have the Rams first round.
Oh, first round. I mean, Philly's not.
Give me your ideal playoff map for the easiest way the Packers can make the Super Bowl.
Everyone else dies. Packers make the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Whatever. All right. First of all, the Saints need to get in. Then the Saints need to
really 50-50.
The 2 seed. And then we get to play the Saints in the divisional round. And then the 6 seed Eagles make it to the NFC Championship and have to come into Lambeau. And that is the easiest route the Packers could have.
Yeah. All right.
It is not going to happen.
No. Okay. But give me your realistic playoff scenario.
Right,
you're the number 1 seed. I don't got that.
Smallest bit of dopamine spike if the fucking Saints make it.
Oh my
god. Let's see. I think. The Rams probably are going to end up as that 2 seed, Bucks 3 seed, Cowboys 4, Cardinals 5, Eagles 6, Niners 7. I think that if that's how it shakes out, you get the Rams coming out of that, you got the Bucks coming out of the Eagles game, and then you got Arizona coming out of the Cowboys game.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves us playing Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can handle that. And then the Bucks and the Rams. So
right, and that's where I was kind of stuck because
then I hope the Rams win for sure.
Yeah, obviously you hope so because you're very familiar with Matthew Stafford.
Very familiar with Stafford, and actually the Bucks are a different team. They're not as good. I don't think this Bucks team is as good.
They're not, but who plays quarterback for them?
It's the luckiest son of a bitch on the face of the earth. Yeah, so I'd much rather play the Rams.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get it. All right, so what do we have here? You have Patriots Titans. You have Patriots Titans. I have Chiefs Bengals. Who makes it to the Super Bowl for our AFC teams?
I got to take the Titans. I gotta.
Titans.
I think I want to say the Titans. I do, but I think it's the Patriots. I think the Patriots make the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I hate that pick, but I'm going with the Chiefs. Hate it. I hate that pick, but I don't know. I just have a gut feeling. All right, so Titans, Patriots, Chiefs on this side, NFC side, Drew.
Good Lord, Packers, please, God, please, please, God.
James.
Go Pack, go.
Yeah, I'll take the Packers. I
Oh,
think in a rematch.
no.
I think in a rematch between the Packers and
Can't
the
have
Colts.
everybody take the Packers. That's no
No,
good.
I understand that.
Drew.
I understand that. But
So you remember how I told you I was like, hey, I gotta like pick my team. I'm gonna have a selection coming out. I'm not gonna pick the Packers, but that's only because every time I've rooted for the Packers, they end up losing. So I would like to announce that I am a Patriots fan for the playoffs. Fuck you, Zach.
that's fine. It's better than being a fan of whatever team you were formerly a fan of.
I'm still a fan of the Browns. This is only to spite you.
Well, funny enough, you picked them to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. But all right,
I want you to be shattered. I want
right,
Bill Belichick
Drew.
to have chronic diarrhea.
Drew, Titans, Packers, Super Bowl. Who is your Super Bowl champion this year?
Oh, that's hard. Give me the Packers, please.
I feel like you're bargaining. You're like you're begging. Please.
What do you expect from me at this point? We've lost in the NFC Championship 3 years in a row.
NFC.
That's what I said.
You said AFC.
I said NFC.
I heard A.
I'll show
heard
you
what?
when I edit this.
I heard
tomorrow.
NF.
Yeah.
Damn it! I heard A. Fuck. All right, James.
Man, as much as I don't want the Packers to win because I'm a Patriots fan for the playoffs, I think the Packers are gonna win.
If I got Packers and Chiefs, I will go Packers.
God damn it, Drew.
First round exit. First round exit.
Well, they have a first round bye, so suck my dick.
Yeah, you heard me. The entire team gets COVID, can't play. That would suck. Now Drew is legitimately worried about that. That is a real threat. All right.
Not. That is the least of my worries.
Rogers collarbone.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Jordan loves
His toe too. Oh God. Well, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
No.
Final thoughts
Oh.
for Zacky boy? No.
I got nothing.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been Garbage Time with Boda, your special edition for the playoffs. Week 18, the first one that there ever has been in the entire league. Week 18. Fuck. Let me rev up here. You know where to find us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We are on Twitch. We are on, let's see. What else are we on? Sports Me. We're on TikTok.
Google Podcast,
on-
Apple Podcast, Spotify,
Yeah, Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Yeah, we're on all those. Check us out. Check out James's TikToks. They're fucking hilarious. Yeah, that's all I got. So stay soggy. We love you.
Stay beautiful. I love you.
Bye.
There's so much fucking die.